Kavihuha says not only is the country slow at ratifying the conventions, but the few that have been ratified have not yet been implemented. He particularly referred to the ratification of a convention that deals with and prohibits discrimination. However, the unionist says Namibia keeps discriminating against people living with HIV/AIDS when employment opportunities arise, citing recent NDF recruitment that he says violates the rights of people living with HIV/AIDS because they are not considered for jobs. The NDF, Kavihuha says, is using these requirements successfully because government has failed to implement 111 Convention that was supposed to abolish discrimination in the recruitment process.
Are we adhering to those conventions? What we pick it up is that when you ratify convention, that convention should form an integral part of the legal system. But we have seen it from independence to date. No decision, labor decision was taken using this ratified convention, which means that our legal system, they don't value the ratified conventions. Our legal system, they don't appreciate ratified conventions. Our legal systems, they don't even use this legal instrument. Namibia, we might be among very few countries in the world which mentioned and honored the ILO, plus is an international legal instrument in our national constitution.
However, the Control Labor Relations Officer in the Ministry of Labor, Nande Kayala, refuted Kavihuha's notion that Namibia is ignoring the ILO conventions.
Government has ratified certain conventions, of which they were mentioned in the opening remarks by the executive director. However, when we are ratifying those conventions, in terms of our constitution and in terms of the current legislation that are governing the labor legislation, Namibia is using that conventions that have been ratified as part and parcel of its national legislation. So in that instance, Namibia has ratified and is implementing those conventions that they have ratified. When you ratify a convention, it is not only to say you ratified and you do not meet your obligation. That's why this process is taking place, of which there is a check and balance to see where are you shorting in your legislation that can be improved through some of the articles that are visible in the convention. And most of the time, before the member state even ratify any convention, we ensure that they are in line with the current national legislation. And then we also ensure by existing article that all those articles that are mentioned in the convention form part and parcel of our national legislation.
The workshop focused on how to assist the tripartite constituencies to understand their roles in light of the requirements of ILO Convention 144 and the ILO Constitution. Timo Andreas, NBC News, Windhoek.